guys. So, been a little while. Had a sick kid for a weekend, and then I forget what happened last weekend. I want to say I had zero free time, which is normal if your family doesn't leave the house. So, but today I was able to, I got a random, all of a sudden, holiday day off. So, I was able to go to the comic book store and pick up some things. So, we'll take a look at what I picked up. And I got a few magic packs I figured we could go ahead and open up. So, first off, this background, I was going through my cards this weekend and finally actually sorting them. I've always wanted to sort them by color so that it was easier to put decks together, because you get boosters and you just kind of maybe throw them in these deck boxes, and I have a huge amount of deck boxes because I've been buying fat packs basically since like Lorwyn, I want to say, and back then they gave you 2 boxes for the fat pack. So these are actually all empty. I ended up with 6 storage boxes that are just totally empty. Actually, I ended up with 7, but I'm giving one as a birthday present to one of our cousins who's trying to get me to play Commander, but hasn't gotten back to me since I said yes. So I don't know when that will happen, but so I ended up with these 6 empty boxes, which I love these ones with the art on the side. This Strixhaven one here is a little boring in comparison, but yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that I had 6 empty boxes worth of stuff. I mean, basic lands, I have 2 of those Theros holiday bundles, where it was basically like a 3-row box. And I have all my lands in 2 of those, and then I have some extra lands in like the deck boxes you would get back in the day. But yeah, I ended up with 6 empty storage boxes here, which I will slowly fill up with cards, and I'll probably stay away from fat packs at least a little bit so that I can use these. So let's see, at the store today, not a huge amount, but I did do a little perusing. So first up we have Usagi Ojimbo number 20 from the new IDW series. I'm not sure if this is his son, because Usagi does have a son with a old flame who he did not marry, and it's funny because she remarries, and then I want to say her husband is not a rabbit, so I don't know how he doesn't know that this is not his child, because this is a white rabbit, and he is not, I believe, a white rabbit, so that would seem kind of obvious, but not sure if this is his son. Most of the time he's drawn as looking younger, like a little, maybe a 5-year-old or something, 5 or 10-year-old, but this looks like a teenager rabbit or something, so we'll see what that one's about. Next up we have Oblivion song number 31. This recently Robert Kirkman announced in the letters page that this would be ending at, I believe, issue maybe like 36, somewhere in there. So for a little while I was thinking of dropping it. It's the only Kirkman book I'm picking up right now. I didn't get on the boat with I forget the name of the fire one, where it was I heard good things, but I didn't get that issue, because that was like mid-pandemic that thing came out. And then the sake of gratuitous violence that you can kind of, pick up every month. So, I've been thinking about dropping this one, but then it got good again, and it's mostly kept going, and so recently they said this would be wrapping up. Kind of glad to hear, because it's a very, the plot is kind of, to an extent, straightforward, so I wasn't sure how long it was going to keep going. You could probably say the same for Walking Dead, but you can have them wandering the earth forever if you want. Whereas this, it looked like there was going to be a finite, finale, so be interesting to see how this wraps up. And, glad to know that I can kind of finish it up at issue 36 or whatever it happens to be, and not worry about an ongoing for years and years. This one is planet-size X-Men. I didn't notice when I was at the store. I thought this was by Hickman. Yes, hello, Kitty. Sorry, the cat just decided to try to come and join me. I thought this was by Hickman. It's actually not. It's by Gary Dugan. Hickman had been doing all these giant-size ones, so I don't know what's up with that, but picked this up basically because it was in my saver and I didn't look too hard. But we'll see. Gary Dugan, most of the time I'm okay with his writing. I thought he did a good job on... Okay, cat, can you get off my stuff, cat? Kitty, hey, you don't need to be up here. Okay. I thought he did a good job on Guardians of the Galaxy. I think he had like a 12-issue stint, because for a while there, everybody had a 12-issue stint on Guardians, right? And then they would start over and sell you new number one. But we'll see how this is. I think I'm 1 or 2 issues behind on X-Men right now. So, and going on with that, this is X-Men number 21 by Hickman. They both have this branding. It says Hellfire Gala on it. I don't know which one I'm supposed to read first, so I might have to look in the back before I pop these open. Most of the time in the back of the X-Men books, they're good about putting like a chronological order in case you're picking up all of them, which a lot of those side ones I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but if you're a huge X-Men fan, I guess you might be picking up just everything in the entire line. And just like those old Superman, when it had like Adventures of Superman, Man of Steel, Superman, and Action Comics, they would have those, this week, so you could follow it in order. In the back of the X-Men comics, they do normally have a chronological breakdown so that you know which ones to read when. So I will probably have to take a look at that and see if Planet-Size X-Men comes first, or what the dealio is on that. Next we have Rorschach Issue 9. I've read up to issue 8 with this, and it's very interesting. I don't know where they're going with it per se, but it's very much like just a thriller mystery in the Watchmen universe. It even has Frank Miller as like a character, which I thought was like a throwaway thing in issue 7, but then in issue 8, there he was again, which was really weird, because I don't think of Frank Miller when I think of Watchmen, so having him be like a character in the book, weird. For a second when it first popped up, I was kind of like, it kind of pulled me out of the story, just because it was so out of left field. But all in all, this Rorschach series has been very good, so I would highly suggest checking that out. Don't go into it expecting Watchmen superheroes. It's much more of a mystery, detective story than anything. This was just a random purchase. This is Ultraman for the Trials of Ultraman number 2. I picked up issue 1 mostly because of the cover, and same thing here. I'm an Ultraman fan, and I flipped through this, and it looked like Ultraman just showed up at the end of the issue. But I love these. I think they're Art Adams covers, and if they want to make him keep doing covers for Ultraman, I will keep buying them for these cool images. So I feel a little silly saying that because I don't remember the story being amazing or anything, and it felt like I had lost some issues because before the Trials of Ultraman, I think they had a mini-series called The Rise of Ultraman or something to that effect, and I only was able to pick up a few issues of that, and then for whatever reason, Trials of Ultraman has been in my comic shop every time, so I'm not entirely sure what the plot for Rise of Ultraman was or what I missed, but it's Ultraman, and I like it. So I actually have some Ultraman DVDs that I keep forgetting to watch them. They're in, I think they're all in Japanese. They have subtitles, but it's like watching Power Rangers with subtitles. The dialogue is not exactly Oscar worthy, so reading it is sometimes a bit of a chore. Finally, for the week, and I didn't know this was coming out this week, we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King. I thought this was just him coming on the regular series, but I believe Supergirl's regular series ended like a year ago, before they did the whole Future State push. So it says it's 1 of 8, so looks like it's another mini-series from Tom King. They're just gonna let Tom King do whatever he wants, and I am okay with that. So we have this cool image of Supergirl. I don't know if you can see this. She's holding up this sword, and we got Crypto in the background, and I don't know who this lady is, but it looks like a Flash Gordon adventure comic to me. So that's a pretty cool aesthetic, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. I used to read Supergirl regularly when it was when Mark Waid was on the book, when they moved into they turned it into like Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes. If you've read that run there, I really loved that run, and I really loved his work on Legion of Superheroes at the time. So every now and then I'll pick up some Supergirl just to try it out and see, but very few writers seem to know what to do with her. It's kind of like the same problem Wonder Woman has. Every now and then I'll pick up some Wonder Woman just to see if anybody other than Greg Rucka knows what to do with her, and most of the time, unfortunately, the answer is no. I picked up some of that Willow Wilson, I believe is her name. When she came on Wonder Woman, I picked some of that up, and it was just very cliche, and it just seemed to drag on. I think before then they had Greg Rucka do a little run, so I picked that up. They always seem to have Greg Rucka come back to Wonder Woman because they know that he knows what to do with her, and whenever it's anybody else, it's kind of crud. So Supergirl's kind of the same. It's like every now and then they'll get somebody to try it with Supergirl again, but a lot of people just don't know what to do with the character, and she just comes off as not being too exciting because these people really don't have a plan for her character. So we'll see what Tom King does with her. I pretty much trust him with anything at this point, so 8-issue miniseries, how can he screw it up, right? So next, I think we'll open a few packs. I got some for my cousin as part of his birthday gift, and I picked up a few extra, probably too many extra, because my bill was quite large for getting as little as I did. I think I got maybe 9 packs of Magic cards, these comics, and a deck box for him that's specifically for Commander. It's, holds 100 sleeved cards, and it's, all brushed satin or fabric on the outside, and it's even got a quote from Tolarian Community College saying that it was a really good deck holder. So we'll do call time first. I figured I'd keep this booster pack that had the androgynous Black Viking, because I don't think my cousin would understand the androgynous Black Viking. So I like how these came with snow-covered lands, though. Playing with snow-covered lands is kind of almost impossible. Let's see. This is a really awesome looking card, and I might have played with her as an Orzaw's deck, but I've never been a fan of throwing cards in my graveyard. It wouldn't be bad for an elf deck. Man, a lot of these have a lot of rules text. I used to have some cards that had no rules text, it was all flavor text. Not so much nowadays. This weekend I was, like I said, I was basically sorting out my cards by color, and also kind of tossing together a blue-black like control commander deck with some I did like rogue fairies, because I had picked up I don't know if it was Commander Legends or a Kaldheim commander deck that had a vampire rogue commander, and he was really powerful, so I figured I'd build a deck around him. And so I was going through everything, and for a little while I was just sorting by color and not really paying attention to what I wanted in the deck. And then as I got towards the end of the weekend, I had to start paying attention to what I wanted in the deck, and I realized I had, buried some cards that were for sure going in, like Una, the legendary fairy that pumps out fairies. So I had to go kind of searching through the boxes, which thankfully now are labeled, black, red. I basically took some, some cheapo, not painter's tape, but, the white tape that doesn't really stick, but sticks well enough. So I took some of that and Sharpie and just, I would just put a piece of tape on the outside of the box and would go ahead and put the color on there. So thankfully it wasn't too bad tracking down the cards. I found them pretty quickly. But it was like, oh crap, where did I put that Una card? And then I realized I hadn't been actually perusing cards yet. I had just been sorting, which made me feel kind of stupid. I'll probably go through and put together an elf deck pretty soon, but that's a big undertaking for me. I mean, it'll be easier now that everything's sorted, or at least partially sorted. But I mean, I've been collecting since 94, so finding all of my elves, and especially because I bought a lot of Lorwyn and there was Lorwyn, Morningtide, and Shadowmoor. Those were so elf heavy. And there's just so many cards in there. So actually willing it down to 100 cards is going to be tough. It was tough enough with this black and blue deck. I ended up with like 60 spells, and then just had to whittle it down to about 38 because I had, creatures and mana. And that was hard. I probably had like 30 discard cards and 30 different counter spells. And whittling it down and picking the best counter spells out of 30 counter spells. And the best discard cards out of, a whole bunch was hard to do. So, picking the best possible elves, I'm sure will be about the same. That's a pretty good card. Oh, that's what, okay. This artwork, I thought, I don't know, for whatever reason, I saw this person, and I thought this was Cape, and I thought they were on the floor, and then this was a skull, but he's riding some sort of skull thingy over the city. That's a really weird art. Okay. Let's see. And last pack I have is Zendikar Rising, which fairly old, but I didn't buy too much of Zendikar Rising. I was never too big a fan of the Zendikar Zendikar blocks. I do like these full art lands though. I don't know about you guys, but I'm old school. I like the commons up front and the rare in the back. And I know that, originally it was kind of total chaos in the packs. And you didn't know where the rarities were. But, after a while you got used to having those always find kicker costs to be a little insane for what it gets you. This card, I don't want to. This card would actually fit really well in the rogue deck I just made, because it's 2 mana for a 2/2, and they get Death Touch if you have another rogue, which all my, basically every single creature in the deck is a rogue, except for, I think I have like 3 demons that are kind of game closers. I don't want to mess with the deck. I literally just sleeved it this morning. So, but I'll probably go ahead and make an elf deck somewhat soon. And I was thinking about making a goblin deck just for the sheer ease and silliness of it, you know. You could be playing Magic for 10 seconds and you'd have enough goblins to make a goblin commander deck, right? So that is it for today, guys. I hope to be, hopefully I'll have free time next week, and we'll be able to do a video. It kind of depends on when I'm given the ability to sit quietly for 30 minutes without somebody asking me for something. So, I hope you guys had a good one. And I must say, Magic's card back, to me, has always just been a thing of beauty. Never changed it, never needed to. Like, I would get that tattooed on my body. That's I know that's crazy sounding, but like, straight up, I just always have loved the back of Magic cards. It's just a certain amount of nostalgia because that back has never changed, and, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are just that weird swirl. Pokemon cards are just, heck, can't even think of what it looks like, but Magic cards, you know, you're playing Magic the Gathering, you're some sort of deck master, here's all the, you know, all the colors, and it looks like a book. If they ever change that, I'm out. So, I hope you guys have a good one, and see you soon.